Hey, everybody, this is Jim with Harvest Harmonics, and welcome to today's episode of The Profitable Farmer, and where we talk about different aspects of farming and how it can affect profitability. Now, obviously, we've talked a lot on our show about our technology and other technologies and different ways of growing, but today I kind of want to go into a very simple, if profound, topic about profitability, and that has to do with risk. There's it's a very common theme that I get among farmers when I talk to them about risk and about um, how to manage risk, how to what people's tolerance levels are, and these different things. So I wanted to talk to you today about risk and how you can manage your risk, how you can, extend your profitability and expand your operation while ideally minimizing risk. Because sometimes people, sorry, one second here, just some, some technical details here. Sorry. I promised this guy I would send him the link. So I'm just trying to finish that as I'm talking to you. But, one of the ways that, that we help people manage risk is by really, you know, giving what we call a guarantee, money back guarantee, right? So you probably heard a number of different people talk about a money back guarantee and how that works and how that translates, you know, into, um, sorry, one second. Trying to multitask here, guys. Sorry. I had a guy call me literally like a minute ago and he was like, "Oh, I really want to see your show. I want to be on the show. Let me, where can I get this? Can you send me the link?" So I just want to send that to him real quick so he can join up with the rest of us here. But no, the thing we get most often in terms of risk is, an evaluation of, what is the thing that's likely to produce a positive effect and how much is it going to cost, or how much risk am I taking on by trying this? And I think a lot of people that have been really interested in our technology have not jumped on board yet because of a fear of risk, a fear of loss. And we've already proven on not just a number of farms, but actually done studies, university studies that have shown that there's nothing about our system that is toxic or detrimental to plant growth. So the worst you could do would be break even and seeing nothing happen. Our technology does not harm plants in any way. In fact, it boosts plants in a number of ways. The only thing that is interesting is we had a farmer that was really testing this. He was running his irrigation 24/7 in a drip application. It was like a continual thing, and it got to the point where the plants just said, "I can't produce any more fruit any more than I've already done." But that was just a one-off thing. Other than that, we've never seen a negative result with our technology. We always see positive results. But in terms of risk, when you're looking at something new or something that's innovative, like for example, our technology, a lot of people kind of get that, fear that, oh, if this technology is new, or if it's not been proven by 1,000 universities, or it doesn't have, peer-reviewed studies for the last 15 years, then there's some kind of risk. And of course, what you have to realize logically is, nothing about, whether a university says it's good or it's not good or indifferent, that has nothing to do with the fact that my technology works. So their opinion on it, or their repetition or replication of the results that we've seen everywhere else, is just a further validation. And to that end, we are on a program that I'd like you guys to know about, which is, we are seeking to launch 1,000 university studies around the world on a wide variety of different crops and plant applications, because we want the Kiminasi plant booster to be the most tested plant technology on the planet. More than GMOs, more than fertilizers, more than all these different other things you see in the field. We want our technology to be the most vetted, the most proven technology on the planet. Not only in terms of farm applications, real world applications on farms all over the world, but also in university and professional research environments as well. Because the bottom line is, when you can improve photosynthesis efficiency, you can really improve a number of different areas of plant health. And so we are launching that. So if you're a university or you're a researcher or you have a lot of relationships with universities where you've done trials in the past, we definitely want to talk with you because we want you to see, some of the benefits. We want you to see this, especially. But getting back to my main topic, though, I will say that, um, risk is a big factor. People don't like to take on risk. They don't like to feel like, oh, if I try something new, then I'm going to put myself out there, and it might create a bad effect. Okay. Oh, and in some cases, they're worried about what will happen to their crops, but in a lot of cases, it's just they don't want to spend money on something that's not proven, that they feel comfortable with. And of course, we are getting our technology out right now on as many farms as we can to provide that comfort level, so that they see, look, it's not just you, it's not just 5 farms or 10 farms. We have hundreds of farms around the world using this, getting excellent results. And we have university trials, over 30 university and professional research trials ongoing right now as I speak, and a lot more planned, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago. So this technology will prove out to be the most advanced technology that agriculture has seen in the last 20, 30 years, and probably won't be seen again for another 10 or 20 years because of its nature. Um, we are directly boosting photosynthesis in plants, and we're utilizing a very unique law of physics to do that. So we don't really need chemistry or chemical inputs to achieve these results. We're doing it just by manipulating the natural laws of physics. And the laws of physics, of course, dictate what happens in terms of chemical interactions in a plant. Pardon me, I've been talking to farmers all day. I literally have had, I think, over 100 conversations with farmers just today. It's been ringing. The phone's been ringing off the hook. It's even ringing here on my computer, and I'm like, okay, But I want to talk to you about risk. So let's take a look at. You're looking at your farm, and you're saying, okay, I want to evaluate what new equipment or new inputs I want to consider for the next year. And so a lot of factors go into that. What is the potential reward? How much can I potentially get from this? What is the risk factor in terms of, like, if it doesn't work, what could happen? What negative things can happen? How much does it cost? How do I factor that into my budget? And how do I factor that into my profitability? Because it's one thing to say, okay, I want to expand my yield by 15 or 20%. And I hear farmers every day say, oh, I would love to get 15 or 20%. Now, a lot of them don't think that's possible, but even the ones that think it's possible say, I would love to give that. But then their immediate question is, well, how much is this going to cost? What is my risk and what is my reward? What is my cost, and what am I going to benefit from it? And what we're seeing on any type of specialty crops is a 5 to 10 times return on investment. That means every dollar you give me, I'm going to return $5 or $10 in extra production this year. And I've been showing it and proving it literally on farms all over the world. So if you guys, are looking at that, sometimes you have to look beyond. Okay, I have a fertilizer that might get me a 3 or 4% increase in yield, but it's less expensive. So a lot of farmers will jump on that because of the low cost factor. But the problem is, it doesn't really solve your long term problems. Your long term problems is not that the soil is depleted of nitrogen or phosphorus or potassium or other minerals. It's that when you put these things in your soil, they leach out of the soil, and the plants cannot access them and cannot get to them in time for them to improve their growth cycle. And the plants are just not efficient at utilizing those nutrients, so that it translates that into double digit fruit and vegetable production on a regular basis. And so if you're thinking about it in terms of traditional ag, your incremental changes are going to do that, just give you possibly incremental benefits. And you're going to keep paying more, and it's going to keep escalating your costs because you're not solving the soil health problem. You're not solving the plant health problem. You're not making the plant more efficient. You're not making the plant more efficient in times where there's a drought, or there's not enough sunlight, or it's really hot, or those types of things where you're losing a lot of your production. The Chemonaxi Plant Booster assists with all of those factors, and that's why it's getting double-digit return on investment, and it's also why we're seeing 20, 30, 40, 50% and more in terms of extra production on crops all over the world. So there's a lot of reward when it comes to using something like the Kiminasi plant booster because it's solving the core problem of the economics of farming. The core problem of the economics of farming are really twofold. Number one is farming is an input output game, right? So you have to manage your input costs and you have to maximize your output gain. So sometimes you get a 20% increase in yield one year over the next, but if you have to increase your input cost by 20, 30, 40%, you're really not making any more money. You're not being more profitable. And on the other side, if you try to lower or minimize your input costs, then your output costs, you're handcuffing yourself and not giving yourself the opportunity for better outputs. And so a lot of times you'll be like, okay, I'll try this new fertilizer, or I'll try this new pesticide, or I'll try this new thing because it's relatively inexpensive, so there's not much risk on my part. And if I can get an extra 2 or 3% or 5%, so much the better and more profitable. And that's really the way I think most farmers operate, at least the ones I'm talking to. And so when you come up with a product that's more expensive, that's maybe 2 or 3 times as much as your average fertilizer, even though it can produce 10 times or 20 times what a normal fertilizer would in terms of output, a lot of times farmers are shying away from it, saying, I don't know, there's more cost involved, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get the benefit. And we attack this directly by saying, look, no farmer ever loses money with Harvest Harmonics. That has been our number one policy since the beginning of this company 7 years ago. It will always be our number one policy, and nothing will ever shake that. No farmer ever loses money with Harvest Harmonics. Now, in a world as volatile as farming and as topsy-turvy and as tumultuous sometimes as farming is, how can we as a company guarantee that? How can we guarantee that you as a farmer will not lose money if you invest in our product? And the answer to that is very simple. First of all, our technology is very consistent. We've been testing this over the last 7 years, and the current version of our technology has produced consistent results. We have, I think, over 600 installations. We've never had a farmer ask for his money back. We've never had a farmer say, "Hey, I lost money on this deal." And the reason why is because, number one, we consult with the farmer. If we don't think that we can produce a product that's going to make you more profitable, we don't sell you our product. Very simple. We just say, look, hey, what you're growing and your kind of operation and the way your setup is, it's just not, even if we got you a 30 or 40% increase in yield, we're not going to be able to increase your profitability because you have a low cost on your crop or something like that. And so sometimes we walk away from deals for that. But most of the time when we engage with a customer, we show them that there's a huge benefit to be had for the farmer. And of course, we say, look, we put our money where our mouth is. If you give us, let's just pick a number. Let's say if you have a big farm and you invest $10,000 with us. If you come back at the end of your first year, now it's a 2-year product, remember, so we're actually banking on the fact that you're at least going to double your money with this. But let's say you come back after the first year and you've spent $10,000 for a 2-year product, and you say, "Look, I only got $5,000 with this." We'll say, "Okay, do you want to go for year number 2, or do you want to take your money back?" And they'll say, "Well, I'll take my money back." So we say, "Good, we delivered 5,000. We're going to give you 5,000 and you break even. You give us the equipment back and you break even." So at least you gave us a shot, and we did our best to make it right. But at the end of the day, we made it right with you. So there was no risk on your part. So really all you had to do as a grower is just do 20 minutes of an installation on your pump, and then everything else do exactly as you normally do. And you will see results. You see results because the system was designed to be easy. It was designed to be low maintenance. It was designed to work 100% of the time. And of course, we back it up with a no risk guarantee. So we've done everything we can do on our product to minimize your risk to the absolute lowest point possible, which is, hey, the worst thing you can do with this is break even. I think that's not bad considering how crazy it can get in the farming world. I mean, imagine if you had a season where you you broke even. There's farmers that are using crop insurance on a regular basis where they're actually having to rely on insurance and subsidies and everything else just to stay in business. And there aren't companies out there. There's no chemical company I've ever seen, or a GMO company, or even Monsanto, or the big guys. I've never seen any of those guys ever say, "Look, if you don't get more money with this product than the cost of our product, we're going to give you your money back." So far as I know, we're the only company that does that because we're the only company that, number one, knows we have a product that's always going to deliver, and two, we always know that, hey, at the end of the day, we want to support farmers and help them every way we can. Sorry, guys. Again, I've been talking to farmers all day, so if my voice is a little hoarse, a little more hoarse than normal, please forgive me. But type your questions in the comments, guys. I'd like to interact with you guys a little bit. If you have questions, please let me know. And I just want to show you some numbers here. And this first number was a blueberry farmer, and this is how much he made more in terms of a per hectare yield in 2019. This particular farmer was the largest blueberry grower in South America, and those of you guys who are in the business know who that is. They reported $12,400 more per acre on their farm. We've seen $17,000 more per acre on cherry farms. So we've seen huge numbers. It's not like, okay, you give me 1,000, I'm going to give you $1,010 back. I mean, we have had a couple of those, but by and large, what we're seeing is you give me $1,000, I'm going to give you 15,000. I'm going to give you 10,000. I'm going to give you $12,000 back for every acre. And our system does not cost $1,000 per acre, by the way. In some cases, it's like, hey, I give you $1, you give me $1, I'm going to give you $100 back. We have instances that way where we've actually made a guy 100 times more money than what he paid us. And with so much so that we actually said, okay, can you kick us down some extra money as a bonus because he really knocked it out of the park? And he kind of laughed. He said, nope, sorry. I said, well, let's get the rest of your farm going because he's got, hundreds of hectares. So we said, okay, well, just let's get you on the rest of the farm, and we're working those details out now. So, guys, I don't know what else I can offer you, honestly. I mean, if I give you a product that is going to catapult your farm into extra productivity, it's going to make you a ton more money, and I've taken all the risk upon myself. My product has to deliver, and if it doesn't, I give you your money back. I mean, I don't know if there's any better deal out there. If you guys can think of one, please let me know. But I also wanted to kind of caution you guys because a lot of people have been watching these shows and a lot of people have been talking with us. A lot of people go on one-on-one consultations, and their attitude is, hey, this looks really interesting. I'm really excited. I want to get some trials going, but I want to wait till next year. I want to wait till the year after, or I want to wait till all the peer-reviewed studies come back from all these 34 studies you already have ongoing. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret to the way these studies work. And I didn't even know this until very recently. But once we get the results of the actual study, the field study done, there's a whole process that takes between a year to 2 years where you take all of those results and you actually get them published in a peer-reviewed journal. That's a 2-year process. So number one, if you wait, you're going to lose 2 years of possible production. And as I've mentioned, in some cases, that might cost you 10, 20, even $40,000 per acre, over that 2-year period. I mean, that's a huge amount of money to lose. Imagine if you were a 100-acre farm, cherry farmer, or a 100-acre grape farmer, or a 100-acre pepper farmer, and you say, well, I'm not going to, I want to wait 2 years on this. And I tell you, look, if you have 100 acres and it's $10,000 per acre that you're losing per year, that's literally, $1 million in terms of every year. There are farms who can make $1 million or more with this product in terms of extra yield and better quality. And I'm not even exaggerating. These are real numbers. So think about that when you're thinking about waiting. Here's a guy who's got a great product. He's got a great product. It's proven itself over hundreds of farms. He's got a money back guarantee that nobody's ever asked for their money back. He's got ongoing university trials, and it's a $10,000 an acre opportunity. Are you really going to wait 2 years or 4 years or 10 years for all of your neighbors to start using it and all the universities to report back and all the peer-reviewed journal studies to get completed. Because it's not like we're not working hard to get that information. This is a new technology. It came out in 2019. COVID shut down all of our research from 2020. And then now we're in this year just getting started on this. It's that new of a product. So we're really marketing this product, honestly, to innovative farmers, guys who want to get an edge, guys who want to be among the first, who want to take really, it's not even a risk, but want to take the small amount of risk of being the first and having a little bit of courage there to being one of the first guys to try this. And those guys are going to win. They're going to win big. These guys, some of these guys are making $1 million an acre in a year, or $1 million. Excuse me, not an acre. Sorry, they're making $10,000, $20,000 an acre. So if they have 100 acres, that's $1 million to $2 million in the first year for their whole farm. So if you guys want to be a millionaire farmer, if you want to be one of these millionaire examples, then give us a call or fill out one of our requests for quote forms and let's get started. Let's show you what this technology can do. Because at the end of the day, even if I have 1,000 universities trials done like we want to, and even if every one of those university trials came out perfect and created a peer-reviewed study, and you have 1,000 peer-reviewed studies, and I'm sitting in my office with an Encyclopedia Britannica of all the research that prove that this technology really has always been the best technology for agriculture. By the time you get there, I'm telling you guys, first of all, this technology is not going to stay at its current pricing. We're already looking at raising it because of the results we're seeing, and we're still making farmers a ton more money, even at higher pricing. We have to do what's right for us as a company so we can expand. And the price will be going up next year. By the time we get the peer-reviewed studies in a year to 2 years, the price might really skyrocket. And that might be just because of supply and demand. Because we know that every time, once farmers see that major universities are on board with this and have proven its effectiveness, and the innovative farmers have already been using it, making millions of dollars a year, by then the cost of our system is going to skyrocket just because there's going to be so much demand that we're not going to be able to fill it all. So take advantage of your opportunity now while you have it, while you can be one of the first most innovative farmers. We've taken the risk away from you. I mean, just think about it for a second. If you got in on the ground floor of Bitcoin, 6 years ago when it first came out, then you would have been able to pay, $2, $3, $4 per Bitcoin. Now it's $60,000 per Bitcoin, right? Huge. Imagine that. Imagine if you got Apple stock before they released the iPod or the iPhone. Imagine if you had Microsoft stock before it became big with Windows and everything else. I mean, you would be a billionaire right now. And Amazon, other companies like this. This is going to be the next Amazon for agriculture. This is going to make Monsanto look like a blip on the map. Nothing against Monsanto personally. I don't like to beat my competition up in terms of talking about them, but all these big ag companies that are in the marketplace right now are all going to be replaced. And it's not because we're out to replace them. It's because we have a superior technology that does more work and it does better and it makes farmers a lot more money. So if you want to become a profitable farmer and make a lot more money this year, then take advantage of our opportunity now while you still can, because it's not going to last forever, and it's not going to be forever before farmers start getting a hold of this. And now the whole commodity nature of the agricultural market is going to kick in, and you're going to lose money just because your current productivity is not going to keep up with where everybody else is at. So don't wait. Give us a call, 727-324-6750. We want to talk with you. We want to work with you and help you become part of the future of farming today so that you can improve your profitability and overall effectiveness of your farm. And if you'd like more technical information, you can also, of course, go to our website at harvestharmonics.com. You can go to the science page and read more about how it works and what it's all about. So read some more of the case studies. And of course, avail yourself of the opportunity to reach out to us so we can help you on your farm. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow.